Welcome to Archetypes of the East. Today we're looking at Hexagram 32, Duration, Perseverance. Duration is the importance of being constant, steadfast, and determined in commitments. This hexagram is one of the few that embody a virtue of the I Ching. Success comes from consistent effort and unwavering vision. This is the second hexagram that deals with love, romance, and connections. It's associated with the officiating of a union or an enduring commitment. Where it concerns relationships, this hexagram is signatory of stable and enduring relations, particularly of marriage, where union itself is sustained through commitment. By maintaining commitments with integrity, the seeker can and will achieve lasting success and is free of blame. In a general divination, the oracle encourages the seeker to remain persistent and focus on a clear goal. Duration is not a lack of movement. It's a process of continual engagement that is firm and unchanging, like the idea of a universal law, true in all aspects and unchanging in the concept of eternity. The principle of this hexagram is about infinite cycles. Hexagram 32 represents sustainable power. The structure is thunder over wind. This is the paradox of duration. To last forever, you must be in a state of constant self-renewal. It is the enduring marriage where routine is actually a rhythmic dance of stability. This is the strategy of the long game. This is the virtue of those who are unwavering. Success comes from consistent effort and unwavering vision. In a world obsessed with pivoting and viral trends, Hexagram 32 is the radical call to stay the course. This isn't about a single burst of energy like the fire of Hexagram 30, or a sudden attraction like in the Hexagram influence. It's about the power of cumulative interest. True duration is not standing still like a rock, but moving like the seasons. The wind and thunder are both active. To maintain a commitment, you must be fixed in your destination but adaptable in your methods. You can consider this hexagram the hexagram of formalizing. In career, this is the operational phase after the startup phase. It's about systems, reliability, and building a legacy. In relationships, it's the transition from dating to marriage. It asks, can you be brilliant even when you're bored? The key or energy of this hexagram is rhythmic, reliable, and rooted. The atmosphere of Hexagram 32 is the sound of the tides rising and falling. It feels like the deep, low hum of a machine that never turns off. It's the comfort of a known quantity. Success is found by simply refusing to quit. This is the archetype of the dynamic anchor. Thunder and wind together create a powerful storm, but the superior one uses that energy to remain firm. You use the storms of life as the very thing that prove your stability. This is the most direct advice of the I Ching. If you have a true north, don't let temporary weather, like moods, setbacks, or distractions, cause you to turn the ship around. The image of Hexagram 32 states, thunder over wind. Thunder and wind, the image of duration. The superior one stands firm in endurance and does not change or waver their direction. The judgment of Hexagram 32 states, duration brings forth success. There is no blame. Continued perseverance furthers the matter, and it furthers one to have a plan, goal, or a destination. This is about rhythmic consistency. Duration is not a static state. It's a cycle of renewal. The sun and moon endure by moving, not by stopping. To achieve success here, you must harmonize your effort with the natural law of sustaining momentum. This is the strategy of the marathoner. You win by being the person who is still standing when everyone else has burned out. Any kind of duration that stands without a goal is just a treadmill. To avoid stagnation, your consistency must be moving toward somewhere. This North Star that you have is what keeps your duration from becoming drudgery or boredom. In the realm of career, goals, and ambition, to play the long game, you need to discard the all-or-nothing disposition that leads to early onset burnout. Find your sustainable output and find a pace that's maintainable and manageable over a long period of time. Authentic ambition is shown by individuals who are still standing when the dust clears and when the fad chasers have scattered onto something new. In the realm of relationships and social flow, intimacy is a rhythm. Whether it's a long-term commitment, a marriage, or a lifelong friendship, reliability will always beat out intensity. As the intensity of the previous hexagram of influence cools, The maturity of Hexagram 32 takes over. This is the boring stuff that creates stable foundations, safety, and deeper endearment. When you choose to follow the relationship rhythm, create dependable rituals to maintain and deepen the connection. Coffee shop breakfasts on Sunday mornings, jogging at a favorite scenic locale for exercise, doing a monthly check-in for necessary maintenance. It's not about making things exciting, it's about making a safe haven for growth and intimacy a priority. A changing line 1. Seeking the state of duration too quickly creates misfortune if one perseveres in haste. Nothing currently furthers the endeavor. This is a lesson in natural maturation. Line 1 is at the very bottom of the hexagram in the position of the beginner. It represents someone who is so in love with the idea of stability or love that they tried to bypass the process of building it. This is the strategy of the patient seed. You must allow the wind, line 1's trigram, to blow gently before the thunder of the upper trigram can strike. This hexagram is warning 1 about the illusion of instant depth. Wanting too much too soon can prevent lasting results. In our modern culture of instant gratification, we often try to turn a side hustle into a career or a crush into a life partner in a matter of weeks. The oracle warns that haste here is not just a mistake, it's a persistent misfortune because it builds a structure on sand. This is about prioritizing depth over speed. Avoid premature attempts at consistency. True duration is an emergent property. It's something that happens after 1,000 small, honest moments. If you force progress, you aren't building a foundation. You're just performing a role. Stop trying to be constant and start simply being present. Every adventure into the concept of duration is a slow launch. In career, don't sign the 5-year lease or the exclusive contract before you've tested the pilot program. In relationships, don't rush into U-hauling and moving in or merging finances right away. Take your time. Let the roots grow at their own pace so that they can actually support the weight of the tree later. This is the line of warning against faking it to making it. You can fake a spark, but you cannot fake duration. It's the entrepreneur who hires a massive staff before they have a single recurring customer. The I Ching says you're trying to harvest the fruit before you've even watered the soil. If you keep pushing for a forever result right now, you'll end up with nothing. Relax. The best things in life are slow cooked. A changing line 2. All past regret vanishes. Fare onward cautiously using moderation. The middle way. This line is talking about centralized momentum. Line 2 is the center of the lower trigram. It represents a state of balanced endurance. Unlike line 1, which was frantic and hasty, line 2 has found the sweet spot of effort. It is the strategy of the internal governor. Because you are no longer overexerting yourself or underperforming, your past regrets and initial doubts simply lose their grip on you. Past mistakes and hesitation are behind the seeker. Stability is progressing with confidence. The remorse here that disappears is because you finally trust your own consistency. When you know you will show up tomorrow, you stop beating yourself up for what you didn't do yesterday. You've moved on from trying to last to simply lasting. This is about guarding your inner strength. Be cautious about attempting anything beyond your current ability. This is the core of moderation. The greatest threat to duration at this stage is ambition. If you try to turn this marathon into a sprint, you'll break the rhythm that is currently saving you. Staying in the middle way, where the effort is high enough to be productive but low enough to be permanent. This is finding the steady rate or the steady pulse. In career, this is the productivity system that actually works. It's not a 16-hour day, it's a focused 6-hour day every day. In relationships, this is the comfortable phase, where the drama has died down and been replaced by reliable peace. Don't poke the fire, just let it grow on its own. This is the line of finding your cruise control. It's the athlete who stops checking the scoreboard and starts focusing on their own breathing. The I Ching says, the struggle is over because you've stopped fighting the pace. You're exactly where you need to be. Don't let your ego tell you to do more. Doing exactly what you're doing with quiet confidence is the highest form of power. A changing line 3. If one does not give duration to one's character, or attach duration to one's virtue, there will be repeated misfortune and constant humiliation. This line is talking about character over chemistry. Line 3 sits at the top of the lower trigram of wind. While this wind is persistent, it's also changeable. If your duration is based on how you feel in the moment, you are at the mercy of the weather or the environment around you. This is the strategy of the ethical anchor. You must decide who you are before the storm hits and not during the storm. This is the hidden cost of inconsistency. If your values shift with those around you, you'll lose all sense of yourself. In the I Ching, disgrace comes from being unreliable. If you are a trend chaser or two-faced, people cannot cling to you or be influenced by you. You become a social static, and eventually you stop even trusting your own self and your own intuition. Self-examination versus social approval. Don't be swayed by fleeting moods. Line 3 is the mood-driven line. It warns that trying to be everything to everyone is the fastest way to become nothing to anyone. The humiliation is the inevitable result of being found out as having no core principles and being hollow from the inside out. In career, this is the brand that changes its mission statement every month to catch a trend. Don't do it. In relationships, this is being hot and then cold. Stop the pendulum swing, decide on your morals, and live by them daily in every interaction regardless as to whether or not it's exciting or not. This is the line of identity diffusion. It's the person who is a chameleon but ends up with no skin of their own. The I Ching says, a person without a consistent true north is just a leaf blowing on the wind. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Consistency is the only thing that builds a reputation that lasts. Pick a path, pick a character, and stay in it, even when it's unfashionable or uncomfortable. A changing line 4. There is no game in the field, and what you're looking for will not be found. This is the line of auditing your immediate environment. Line 4 is the position of the minister, the first step into the upper trigram of thunder, or action. Here, you are finally taking big steps, but you're walking on barren ground. This is the strategy of the strategic pivot. Perseverance is only a true virtue when the object of your perseverance actually exists in the first place. If there is nothing in the field, waiting longer won't help you get what you want. This is a direct hit to the ego. We often think that if we just stay the course long enough, the universe will provide. The oracle here disagrees. If you are hunting in a desert, duration just means that you will starve more slowly. You are chasing a lost cause. This is about misguided aims. One may seek consistency without a clear or appropriate goal. This is the persistence of fools. You're being reliable in a role that no longer serves you, or staying constant to a plan that was based on a false premise. If the game, in this circumstance, the reward or the soul, isn't there, your efforts are ineffective. In career, this is staying at a dead-end job, hoping for a promotion that doesn't exist. In relationships, this is trying to fix someone who has already checked out. Stop hunting for what doesn't exist. Reevaluate where you are putting your energy. It's time to find a field that actually has game in it. This is the line of the sunk cost fallacy. It's the entrepreneur who spends 5 years staying constant to a product that nobody wants to buy. The I Ching says, persistence is only half the battle. The other half is positioning. If you're working hard, but you're working in a vacuum, don't mistake not quitting for succeeding. If the field is empty, the most constant thing you can do is leave the field. A changing line 5. One gives duration to their character and virtue. This is good fortune for the supportive, receptive follower, and not for the leader or the initiator. Be adaptable and devoted to your cause instead of aggressive or stubborn about it. This line is talking about adaptive devotion. Line 5 is the ruler of the hexagram, but it sits in the middle of the thunder trigram of movement. This creates a tension. How do you stay constant when you are leading? The answer lies in the strategy of the flexible spine. You must be unyielding in your commitment to the cause, but highly adaptable in your methods. This is a caution against rigid leadership. Be adaptable and devoted instead of aggressive or stubborn. If you are a follower, the supportive role, your job is to be the anchor. Your unwavering commitment to a leader's vision is your good fortune. But if you are the leader, the initiator, being stuck in one way of doing things is a trap. A leader who cannot pivot when the storm changes is stubborn, not constant. Reliability and trustworthiness is seeing endeavors through. At this high level, duration means you don't abandon the ship, but you do adjust the sails. If you are aggressive about your old ways, you will break. If you are devoted to the end goal, you will find a way through. In career, if you are an employee, show unyielding reliability. If you are the boss, stop being aggressive or stubborn about how things are done and focus on why they are done. In relationships, this is about knowing when to be the anchor and when to be the navigator. Consistency is not a lack of change, it is a focus of purpose. This line is talking about the difference between policy and purpose. It's like a clerk following policy, constant duration. A CEO follows the purpose, adaptive duration. The I Ching says, if you are in charge, don't confuse being right with being constant. True duration for a leader means being the first to change your tactics so that your mission can survive. Stay devoted to the destination, but be willing to rewrite the map if necessary. A changing line 6. Agitated and forced pursuit of duration brings misfortune. This line is talking about restoring stillness within yourself. Line 6 is the roof of the thunder trigram. Thunder is meant to be a sudden, powerful event. It's not meant to be a constant state of being. If you try to live in a continuous storm of energy, you will eventually shatter. This is the strategy of gentle release. True duration is a pulse, and every pulse needs a moment of quiet to remain healthy. Moving frantically toward a goal doesn't mean real progress. At this stage, your duration has become a nervous twitch. You are agitated because you're trying to force a result through sheer volume of activity. The I Ching warns that a forced pursuit is a form of violence against yourself and your endeavors. It doesn't build a legacy, it builds a slow breakdown. Duration here means evolving and accepting change, not stubbornly refusing to let go. This is the second trap of line 6, trying to freeze time. If you refuse to adapt because you are clinging to how things used to be, you're no longer enduring, you're decaying. True constancy is the ability to flow with time and not against it. In career, this is grind culture. Working 80 hours a week on a project that's already failing. Just stop. In relationships, this is anxious attachment. Trying to force a connection to stay in the honeymoon phase forever. Let go of the tension. If you don't stop the frantic movement, the misfortune will be the loss of everything that you're trying to save. This is the line of high-functioning anxiety. It's the feeling that if you stop moving for 1 second, everything around you will collapse in your endeavor. The I Ching says, you're overthinking the engine. Constant agitation is not consistency. It's just stress. To make something last a lifetime, you must be able to sit still. True duration is found in the silence between the heartbeats, not in the speed of the pulse. That concludes Hexagram 32. I hope that you liked the video if you found it helpful in understanding this hexagram and its lines. Subscribe to follow this series along, and next we'll confront Hexagram 33, Retreat, Withdrawal. See you then.